Hello everyone, this is Brian McCarthy and welcome to a brief lecture on brands and branding. We will start as always by taking a broad look at marketing. We will talk about what a brand is, brand identity, promises, experiences. We'll talk about brand strategy, maybe another topic or two, and then we will wrap up. So here is our broad perspective on marketing. All of the components that go into a successful go-to-market strategy and tactics are represented, and the context within which marketing takes place. And we can see on the right side of the screen, appropriately between the 4 Ps and customer, brand. And that, of course, is our topic today. A brand is a word or a symbol which gives a product a unique identity. That is the simple explanation of what a brand is. But it's more complicated than that, because a brand is also a promise to consistently deliver certain promises to the consumer. Let's talk a little bit more about these promises. Marketers like to refer to brand promises sometimes as the brand DNA, the core attributes of a brand, the short list of promises that don't change, no matter what the form factor, no matter where in the world the brand is going to market. Think about popular sportswear company Columbia Sportswear. They have defined their short list of promises, or their brand DNA, as consisting of outdoor, active, authentic, American, and value. Everything that the Columbia brand name goes on should have all of these attributes, should be able to deliver on all of these promises. So a brand is an identity, and a brand is a set of promises that are delivered to the customer through all of the experiences that a customer has with that brand. So let's talk about identity, let's talk about promise, let's talk about the experiences. So creating a brand identity means using brand elements. And brand elements we can think of as the fundamental building blocks of a brand's identity, of a brand's visual representation. This can be just the name. It can be a logo. It can include a tagline. It usually includes a well-specified font and set of colors. If we look at these two very well-known brand marks, Mercedes-Benz and Google, they are instantly recognizable anywhere in the world. Let's talk in detail about some of the words that marketers use when they talk about brand identity. The brand name is pretty obvious, and let's use the example of a service business, in this case the famous Oxford University in the UK. The brand name here, of course, is Oxford University. Their logo is a circle with University of Oxford around the perimeter, and inside a book and 3 crowns. And the brand mark, the actual visual representation, which you and I would see on their website, on their publications. If we went to a seminar or a class, there might be a banner with this brand mark on it, is more than just the logo and more than just the name. And let's take a closer look at this brand mark. The Oxford University brand mark has a specific shape, a square or a rectangle, and a very specific color, a certain shade of blue. It includes the logo and the brand name, both sized appropriately, and the font that is used is very well specified in all of the Oxford brand mark guidelines, and it's something that everyone at the university is expected to use exactly as described whenever they want to put the brand mark in a publication. Loyal customers love brand elements, they love logos, they love brand marks, and when a company changes the brand mark for no reason in particular, customers can get very fired up. Gap learned this when they changed their brand mark from what is on the left of this slide, what is on the right side of this slide, to what is on the left. A firestorm of criticism ensued, a lot of it on Facebook. That was an entertaining day on Gap's Facebook page, and the company wisely backed off and returned the logo to its original form. So we've talked about brand identity and brand names and logos and brand marks. Let's talk a little bit about the promises and about the experiences and about the resulting loyalty. So a brand promises certain benefits. It delivers those benefits. It keeps its promises through all of the experiences that customers have with the brand, thinking about it, looking at ads, visiting a retail establishment, talking with others about it, actually purchasing it, using it, and having a great experience. And when it all comes together right, when the benefits match what the customer is looking for, when the customer has good experiences with the brand, then the result is brand loyalty, and we can call the brand a successful one. A brand is what a brand does for the customer, and what a brand does can best be described with the word benefits. The Boston Consulting Group has a really nice tool called the Brand Benefit Ladder that we can use to think about the relationship between brand features and brand benefits and divide those benefits into two categories. So the brand features are the bottom rung of our ladder. One level up are the functional benefits that the customer would receive, and a level up from that are the emotional benefits that are also part of what the brand has promised and what the company wants to deliver. So let's use Starbucks as an example, and to keep things simple, let's focus on the Starbucks coffee brand. So the product features are pretty straightforward. It's quality coffee served in a really nice cafe. The functional benefit is that I get more than a cup of coffee. I get more than a visit to a nice place. I get a premium coffee break. I get to escape for a little while by myself or with a group. In addition, I also get a nice emotional boost. I get a good feeling from allowing myself an affordable, upscale treat on a regular basis, no matter where I am in the world. Let's see where we are. We've talked about our broad perspective on marketing. We've described what a brand is. We've talked about brand identity, promises, experiences. Let's now turn our attention to brand strategy. Brand strategy describes the overall plan that companies use for going to market with new brands and with existing brands. After all, you have to have a name and a visual representation that goes on every product you go to market with. And there are two common strategies. One is called the House of Brands strategy, and the second is called Branded House. House of Brands is going to market with a portfolio of separate brands. In this case, the company name, Procter & Gamble, is not on any of the products. Instead, an individual brand name is, ranging from Tide to Safeguard to Bold to Ivory. And many of these brands are available all over the world, targeted at specific customer segments. Some of them are only available in certain countries. A second broad strategy is called the Branded House. This is when the company name also serves as the main brand name. And we see this with Sony. Most Sony products have the Sony name on them. They may also have an identifier along with the Sony name, but what we see first is the name Sony. Samsung uses this, and so does Hewlett-Packard. Other common branding strategies include co-branding, in which brands from different companies are featured on one product. We see this on Windows, Intel, laptop computers all the time. We also see it in this very exciting partnership between Nike and Apple, in which they have produced a personal training system that involves both Nike shoes and your favorite Apple handheld device. Another common branding strategy is private branding or private labeling, in which a retailer itself introduces its own branded products that sit on shelves very close to the national and the global brands. If done right, if brands and branding are done right, high brand equity is achieved. And with this, a company can communicate very quickly and effectively with its target customers. A company can launch line extensions. Coke can become Diet Coke, and then Vanilla Coke and Cherry Coke. And finally, companies have some pricing power, and they're able to go to market and win new customers without necessarily having to drop price, even if their competitors do. Let's quickly summarize our key points. A brand is a word or a visual representation which gives a product a unique identity. A brand is also a promise to consistently deliver certain benefits to the consumer, and companies use brand strategies to maximize the value of the brand, the value to the company, and the value to the consumers. Well, thank you for watching this video on brand. We talked about our broad perspective on marketing. We talked about brands and branding, identity, promises, brand DNA, a tool called the Brand Ladder, and then a little bit about strategy, house of brands, branded house, co-branding, and private label. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll see you online.